After Austin, the plan was simple. Take a short reset, get healthy again, and get straight back into marathon training, only to find out I'm becoming my own physical therapist instead. This wasn't exactly how I imagined my comeback going, so to figure out how it got to this point, we need to go back to what happens every time I try and run again, and why today is about doing everything I can to keep this comeback alive. I thought I was really able to sort out this pain, but my knee says otherwise. Although the down weeks did seem to help, it's that first run back that destroys the progress. Like, I've been doing all this massaging, icing, and strengthening, and while it has helped a little, there is just no way I can jump back into marathon training in this state. Like, even just running 1 mile is a struggle, and anything further than that is like hurting a bit. So it's during times like these where running is just not fun at all. And I do know what the issue is. My legs just aren't strong enough right now, which means my knees end up taking up most of the impact. And I wish the fix was as simple as get stronger. But that's exactly the problem. A lot of exercises that are supposed to help, like squats and lunges, are also the same ones that irritate my knee. So over time, that weakness just kept on building up until I got to the point where I've basically been dealing with this pain on every single run since winter break 5 months ago, which is why I finally made that call for this full reset. On top of all this, I have AP exams only 2 weeks away, and the one I'm most worried about right now is physics. My teacher basically dropped 200 multiple choice questions and 4 FRQs before the exam, and I massively underestimated how long this is gonna take me. So now I've got the knees iced as I'm gonna try and survive this assignment. And we're gonna time how long it takes. Bro, it has taken 23 minutes to reach question 33. Are we serious right now? And so that's when I decided to call upon ChatGPT for its masterful explanations, because there's no possible way I would understand what I'm doing without it. And done, finally. So that pretty much took me 1 hour to complete, which just makes me very concerned about how long it'll take me to complete the rest of the 4, because I'm just done with 25% of my assignment now. But I gotta keep on pushing through, because if I can get a good score on this exam, then that's just one less college credit I have to worry about. Another problem with the low mileage is that I can already feel myself getting less sharp since the marathon, which definitely does not help the situation. But it looks like our old friend has returned. No, not the Ducks. That's right, it's the RTM Mobile. After going through surgery, he somehow crawled back from the depths and made a full recovery. So instead of letting all my fitness disappear, it's time to bring back those daily 1 hour to 2 hour rides. I actually tried this for a week after Austin, and it was a decent training stimulus. The only things holding me back that time were my wisdom teeth and the bike literally breaking on me that same week. But now that both of those are out of the way, it feels like I can finally take this a lot further and maybe even improve my fitness while my knee settles down. The thing is, biking is usually fun, but when you get stuck riding the same 4K loop for the next hour, it gets very old very fast. At least we got the Mr. Kipchoge podcast up in here to keep me company. And honestly, I might have to move some of these rides over to the gym just so I can catch up on some shows. And with my goal right now of hitting 9 hours of biking a week to make up for the 6 hours of running I used to do, somehow sitting on a bike for an hour feels mentally harder than most long runs. Because at least with the long run, it feels like you're going somewhere. But with this, you just sit here and suffer in circles. Still, if this is what it takes to keep my fitness up without making my knee worse, then biking is back. After juggling the knee, physics, and biking in circles, I needed to get out for a bit. So naturally, I did what any serious runner in comeback mode would do. Ignore what they're trying to say. I made my way over to Firehouse Subs, grabbed a steak sandwich, and then took it to the top of Memorial Park. And honestly, there are way worse ways to reset than sitting up here with one of the best views in Houston and eating a sandwich that was doing a solid job. But that wasn't the end of our food extravaganza, because for dinner, I headed over to City Center for what might be one of the safest picks for all time, Grimaldi's. I always go with the cheese pizza, and every single time I forget how massive it is. But to be fair, it absolutely delivered. Ooh, that pizza was so good, bruh. I gotta say, I'll give it, let's give it a 9 out of 10, just because I was that hungry. That place is becoming a very strong contender for my new go-to pizza spot. Now, as nice as the food was, that obviously doesn't fix the actual issue, because I'm very aware at this point that I've got some pretty bad imbalances going on. My thighs, glutes, and hips are all just not strong enough right now, which means the knee is basically doing all the dirty work. And I can even tell in the gym that my legs should be laughing at some of the exercises I'm doing, but instead I'm getting humbled by them. So these sessions have one job: to completely sort out this imbalance before my knees file for divorce. I've been doing way too much digging online as well, trying to learn what actually helps and what doesn't annoy the knee more. So right now, the schedule has basically turned into one day of running, mobility, and an upper body workout, while the next day is going to be a biking and leg workout. Now, this isn't the glorious marathon build I had imagined, but progress is progress. And even when I run, I can feel how out of sync everything is. Like one hip rises higher than the other. So I've been doing this hip drill right here to get the whole operation moving properly again. Because right now, everything feels kind of wonky. This is so hard. And after all that, it was finally time for the reward. All right, I got the sauna all to myself, and I gotta say it's super hot in here, but we'll try and go for 20 minutes because I think that's the limit that I can do right now. But hey, I think it's good recovery. Hopefully it is. Tell me if you know otherwise, because I wanna know. And you just can't forget to finish off a good workout session with a nice trip to Trader Joe's and buy a bunch of plantain chips. Oh my goodness, are these the best things I've ever had. But let's switch things over to the infamous Nottingham Park to test out how my legs have been doing. Now, although this park isn't as big as Memorial Park, I do enjoy the fact that the ground is very, very soft. I do find myself stretching a lot more than before just to make sure that knees especially primed up for this run. And hopefully with today's run, we can knock out a few more miles this week. And pair that up with the soft grounds of asphalt. Oh, we got a great duo up in here. Now today's run is actually a bit special because today marks the first time I'm actually able to quadruple up this week. And we're gonna end it off with 2.6 miles of just really, really easy, but so far so good. My legs have zero pain, and I'm very, very happy about that because that shows that we're slowly getting back into the rhythm of marathon training, and we're slowly one step closer to finally racing, because I want to get back out there and hit up some 5Ks, 10Ks, you know, get me into a marathon, please. So I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna guess, give it 4 weeks and I'll be fully back. Even though the water is lukewarm, that is still probably some of the best water I have. It's always after a run that it tastes the best. But focusing on the run, I will say it was way better than I expected. And you know what? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear improvement, and that's exactly what I'm hearing. I did stop a few times, but I did go a bit further than I thought I would. So I think our mileage comes around to like around 13 miles this week, which is still massive improvement. So I'm very proud of that. Like both my Achilles and knee felt no pain throughout the run, except for the fact that they were getting really tired early on. So I did take a few breaks, but even without the breaks, I'm pretty sure I could have gone. And with this heat too, I was expecting way worse results, so I'm very, very proud of how I did. And I think that's like the best way you could end off a week in terms of mileage and for a comeback. Like you always want to end off the week feeling good, and that's how I feel right now. We got the mileage on the bike, we got the mileage on the running, we got the mileage on the workouts. Like we're doing everything we can. So we'll be back in no time to face against the races, because once I get back into those races, holy moly, we're going sub 3 in that marathon. Trust me, it's happening this year. Just because the run felt a bit better doesn't mean I can suddenly start slacking on the recovery. I'm not gonna make that same mistake again where I think everything is fine just to get hit with another 2-week ban. So tonight we're bringing back a cameo from the Recovery Dojo. First, we got the pain cream because apparently at this point my knees need more products than a skincare routine. Then a bit of massaging to try and calm down and bring everything back down. And after that, straight on to the roller. Ever since I got this thing right here, it has been an absolute lifesaver. And with the spikes on it, it digs in way deeper than a normal foam roller, which is great news for the recovery and terrible news for me. Then, once that was done, off came the cream and on went the ice, because what kind of recovery routine doesn't end with you strapped into an ice pack? And while all that was going on, I suddenly remembered something. Remember when I said earlier that AP exams were coming close? And I massively underestimated how long this is gonna take me. Well, it's kind of tomorrow, and I am very underprepared. So while the legs are recovering, it's time for me to get in that one final panic study session to try and save myself from whatever physics has planned for me in the morning. Now that pretty much sums up the entire comeback right now. So even though I'm not fully back yet, we are building day by day by day. And soon I'll be back in that marathon shape that I dream about. And with race entries not being exactly cheap, I think it's about time that my bike becomes more than just a rehab tool. But this has been Alberto from Road to Marathon signing off with rest smarter and train harder.